I'm Donna with Suter Consulting, and today we are going to talk about how to get started with the Profit First method. You know, I talk with business owners every day that have read the book Profit First by Mike Michalowicz, and they say to me, it's about bank accounts.
That's very, very true, and that's how you get it started and how the method works. But in order to be successful with transforming your business, you have to open your mind to something new. It's kind of like breaking an old bad habit.
You need to embrace the profit first mindset. We need to stop being reactive and be proactive.
A lot of our clients are very reactive to situations in their business.
You know, I had a client that was always in the reactive state. This client owned an apparel business and they needed to order a lot of inventory. They never seemed to have the money to pay for that inventory.
He was using money that he thought he had because of what's shown on the bank accounts, right? And he was spending it. He wasn't prepared for the next shipment of inventory, so he had to react negatively by either taking out loans or borrowing money from family and friends.
What the profit first mindset would be is a little bit out of every sale would go into a profit first inventory account,
so that it is safe and protected and ready to go for your next shipment.
So another client of ours has a similar problem. This client has a manufacturing shop of about 20 people at his office, and they often don't have enough money for their payroll. So what I've seen him do is send clients emails that say, please pay our invoice early. We don't have enough for payroll. And you know, that kind of puts the client in this unstable situation, and it creates trust issues between their client and them. A better solution would be to create a profit first account for payroll and allocate a portion of your revenue into that every time. I've also been stuck in that mindset. You know, when I first started my business, I would hire family members and friends, and I didn't usually have enough money for payroll, and then I would pay myself the leftovers. The mindset should have been, and is now, a little bit of every dollar that I earn goes into a payroll account. Now I can pay myself all year the same salary and pay my team members. So the profit first mindset is also about controlling your spending. When we put money aside for your owner's pay and to profit and tax, and then the OpEx, sometimes we also do a little bit of money into a payroll account or an inventory account so that we can really control the spending and manage what's going on in your business.
One of our clients, their business financials were starting to harm their personal financials along with their personal relationships.
He goes, Donna, I am in deep trouble. I have a huge tax bill. I don't have the money. And once again, I'm going to have to either borrow from family members, I'll have to take a loan out, or I'm going to have to tell my wife that we're going to need to bring money in from our personal side. I felt so bad for this client, and I said, okay, we might not be able to do anything about this year, but let's make sure that you're not in this situation again next year. And then we can ease the marital tension here by letting them know we have a plan. And so each month we set aside money for taxes. And the next tax season, I called him up. I said, so how'd it go? Did we have enough money in that tax account? And he smiles at me and he says, yes, and my marriage is nice and safe. I felt so good that I could help that person.
Hooray! It was all great and dandy, right? But after that, the client decided to drop the program. And what happens? Everything turns chaotic again. And so now he's coming back to the Profit First system, preparing for the new tax year.
So the profit first mindset is also helping you step out of the scarcity mindset. You know, that mindset where you say, I don't have enough. I'm going to have to use my credit card. I'll have to take a loan. If I could just get one more big sale, I'll be fine. Or it could be, I can't get help. I'm the only one in the company that can do that. I can't give that task away. Those are all scarcity mindsets. In 2008, I was running a business. I was a full-time student. I was a mom. I was a wife. And I didn't think that I could afford to hire somebody that would help me. I was the only one in my business that could actually do these things.
We were so scared to hire on a new person that it decreased our productivity.
But stepping away from the scarcity mindset and stepping into the profit first mindset taught me that I could hire somebody to do the lower level work, allowing me to do higher level work and gain more business and still have time for my husband and children, a social life.
We had to embrace the new mindset so that we were able to grow.
As I was moving out of the scarcity mindset, which isn't easy, I was reading the Profit First book by Mike Michalowicz. And in that book, he challenges you to do a 1% challenge, which means taking 1% of all the revenue that comes in while you're reading the book and set it aside. Can you live without this 1%? And I realized I could. And then I did 2% and 3%. And that helped me move out of scarcity until finally I was at 12% in my savings account. And I had this pile of money. I had never had a pile of money before. And then I realized why he has you separated into different bank accounts, smaller plates, if you will. I needed to fund my payroll account, my owner's pay account, my tax account with what I had in there, and then get myself a smaller plate for operations. Because I did the 1% challenge, it helped me to move out of that scarcity mindset and into the profit first mindset.
Have you ever been afraid to actually know what's going on financially in your business, being afraid of seeing the details within your P&L and your balance sheet? A lot of business owners, they don't understand what's in there really, or they're just too scared to look.
Now, profit first method is gonna take that fear out of your money story, because we're gonna start building habits that help you manage what's going on in your business.
When business owners come and start Profit First system, we go through an expense analysis with them. An expense analysis reveals what is going on. It reveals the money story, the money movement within the business.
We can go through your expenses, help you figure out where the money's going, help you to figure out what is muscle, what is the nice to have.
We have to take on the structure. When you build structure, you take control.
Imagine that you would feel completely confident about your cash flow. You're confident that you have profit. And the same with taxes. It's no longer a scary thing to get your taxes done. You have money in the bank to pay for taxes. What peace of mind could that bring you? What else could you do with the energy that it takes to worry about your finances? You can build your business rather than worry. That's what Profit First does.
Putting all the money into one bank account, that is literally just winging it. But when you separate it into the appropriate accounts, that's winning it and bringing structure.
The tools I've learned from Profit First have transformed my business, and I truly would like to help you transform your business.
So how can you learn more? You can download the first 2 chapters of Profit First by visiting our website at suiterconsulting.com and by also subscribing to our YouTube channel.